what happens to us after our protective layers soften. Today, we'll be exploring who naturally emerges when your system no longer feels under threat. In the previous videos, I've been exploring what happens when we're triggered or activated in relationship to others and how this teaches us about aspects of ourselves that maybe need attention or healing. But today I want to look at the opposite side of the coin. What is revealed when we actually feel emotionally safe, and how certain relationships may allow us to fall into that or allow us to access that more natural, authentic sense of ourselves. Sometimes we hear or we use the phrase in everyday life that he or she or they make me a better person. And it's a beautiful sentiment to acknowledge that being in relationship with another individual helps to bring out the best of you. But I think it is important to really be clear on what's happening when we sense ourselves becoming a version of ourselves that we prefer to be in relationship with another person. It's not that they are making a version of ourselves come to life or creating a version of ourselves. It's that the emotional safety allows that natural sense of who we are to come to the surface without the defensiveness, without the protective reactions that we potentially needed to maintain through other stages of our life, particularly through our early life experiences and childhood. And so it's important to really look at safety, or the inner safety, as a revelation of who we really are. Think about what happens. We breathe easier. We speak at a steadier rate. We become more humorous rather than defensive. We don't have to think about or rehearse everything we're going to say. And in this state, everything starts to align more. Everything starts to organize, and this internal alignment can be described in a few different ways. In psychology speak, we sometimes refer to that as regulation, coming into an emotionally regulated state. In consciousness work, we talk about coherence, and they're both speaking to the same lived state. Although I like the term coherence and what it represents. You could say coherence is what happens when your thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations and impulses are no longer pulling in different directions. They're all aligning. And a metaphor that I think speaks to coherence quite well is that of an orchestra. So in the warm-up, all the different instruments are playing their own little pieces, certainly not necessarily coordinating as that warm-up period unfolds. But then once the conductor is there to bring everything together, all the instruments play in coordination with each other and move together as one. And so I think that's a beautiful metaphor for coherence. It's not a state where we go into some kind of numbness or passivity or controlling or inhibiting ourselves. It's a much more of a natural sense of being here and being safe internally to be here. And it's a beautiful state and experience to have, to be in a state of coherence. allows that deeper core self to naturally emerge. Not be created, emerge. The real you is able to come to the forefront. And I've certainly been fortunate enough to have a very powerful relationship that I'm currently in my life that has facilitated me finding my way into coherence far more regularly. Again, not that it's created coherence for me, it has just supported the process of coherence, having the relationship, the romantic relationship I'm in right now with my beautiful partner Becca. An individual who is just so filled with joy and love and warmth, and just wants to connect with people wherever she goes, and that is inspiring to see out there in the world when we're out interacting with people. It's so beautiful to be a part of seeing her connect with people everywhere she goes, and so that puts me at ease to start with, because that openness and that seeking to connection is something that I know is my true essence, and inspires me to be more warm and connecting with others as well. But then obviously just in the privacy of our own individual interaction, that warmth and sense of being fully seen, acknowledged and appreciated for who I am, as I am, facilitates me to really just become more playful, so honest, the most honest I've ever been in a relationship in my entire life, not hiding anything, even if those details might cause a bit of upset or a bit of discord between Becca and I know that the unconditional love, that the safety that has been created will support me to continue to show up authentically, to show a full range of my emotions, to be more playful and joyful. And that's who we all are. That's the essence of all of us, to be curious and playful, joyful. And I don't want to suggest that we actually need another human being to bring this out in us, because we don't. In fact, some of you may find your way to those states far easier on your own. But it is very liberating to sense all of that protective layering just drop away in an interaction with my beautiful soulmate and partner, and I know not everyone gets the chance to have that experience, and it doesn't certainly have to be in a romantic relationship either. It may be with a parent, a relative, a friend, that really creates the space for that you to come out. And it's not necessarily about then trying to force that essence to come back over and over again, but recognizing it is definitely a starting point to sensing what coherence is, what that inner safety feels like, and having intentions to find your way back to it, whether it be through relationship or whether it be through your own inner work, to find your way into coherence. Certainly meditative experiences can support finding coherence over time as well, and there's so many meditative practices out there that I won't even start trying to suggest different ways that we can go, although in future videos different options I'm sure will be offered, but today I just, as always in these videos, wanted to offer a little guided inquiry to to maybe seek out some of that inner coherence, or the memory of that inner coherence within yourself, and just take a moment to maybe taste it again right now. So whether you prefer to keep your eyes open or let them fall shut, I invite you to take a moment to bring to mind even a small time in the past where you felt emotionally safe around another person. And just notice in that moment, or remember in that moment, how your body felt. Maybe it was your breathing that really settled and was rhythmic. Maybe the posture of your body was very soft and relaxed. Maybe it was the tone of your voice. Or the pacing of your voice that was very steady and settled. And really soak up that moment again now, appreciating it. Having gratitude for how precious that moment with that individual was for you, and how this sense of who you really are came to the forefront. You weren't trying to be anything or anyone. And the qualities that came forward weren't created by the safety. They were revealed by it. The inner safety created space for the essence of who you are to come forward. That essence is always there. And just taste it a little bit now. That you. Not striving. Not forcing. Just being. And bring that being, or that sense of just being with you, more fully into the external environment again. If you had your eyes shut, just gently return to taking in your surroundings and feeling that centered groundedness in you as you return to focusing on the rest of your day. So in closing, coherence isn't something you force. It just emerges when safety is present. You don't have to maintain it. Just recognizing it is enough to start with. And that self that appears isn't a better version of you per se. It's just the real you with less armor. It's the you that's more connected, the you that's more aligned, and the you that is just being. Coherence is all about you remembering who you really are. And who you are is unconditionally loving. When you peel back all the protective layers, you are unconditionally loving. Don't forget that. Thank you.